Welcome to Higher Education Advocates Podcast. This podcast is about supporting students and families as they navigate through the post-secondary complexities of college. From time to time, I will touch base on current events. Expect to hear jam-packed information that includes strategies and tips. The goal is to empower families and help them make informed decisions. Expect to hear from higher education professionals, HR professionals, tax pros, mental health professionals, financial aid administrators, students, parents, plus more. My name is Teresa Harris, and I'm a college financial aid expert. I'm also the founder and owner of Scholarship Momma. I have a master's in higher education, and I am an alum of Robert Morris University in Chicago. I'm a wife, mom, and grandmother. My heart is for our youth, but the information I'm sharing is relevant for all age groups. When it comes to college, my experience as an adult student was fantastic. I was eager to learn and ready to start a new career, and the only way I could pay for college was to borrow loans. One thing I failed to realize is the impact student loans would have on my future. I borrowed thousands of dollars during my undergraduate career, and as time went on, the amount I owed ballooned. As of this recording, I'm still paying off student loans, and I completed college years ago. For the record, I don't have anything against student loans, but I do believe in responsible borrowing, which is something I didn't do. As for the podcast, expect to hear from me on a bi-weekly basis. This podcast is available on Anchor FM and Scholarship Momma YouTube channel. For more information, check out my website, www.scholarshipmomma.com. Hey friends, this is Teresa Harris, aka Scholarship Momma. Welcome to Higher Education Advocates Podcast. A lot of inspiration is going to be shared today. I'm happy to have Charlene Rhinehart today. Guess what? You're not going to believe this. Charlene paid off all her student loans at age 22. She became a certified public accountant at age 23, and she left her dream job to live her dream life at age 28. If you're thinking today's podcast is about scholarships, you guessed right. Before I turn the mic over to Charlene, I wanted to share something with my listeners. Guess what, you guys, ladies, I have been knowing Charlene for over 20 years, ever since she was a teenager. And my daughter and her went to middle school together. And so I have been following her journey for over 20 years, and I am so proud of her. And I am so super excited she decided to come on the show today and talk about her journey. So with that being said, welcome, Charlene, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me, Scholarship Momma. I'm so happy to be having this conversation with you because it's much needed. A little bit about me and my background. I studied accounting and finance at DePaul University, graduated at 22 without student loans because I did not want to leave college with debt because I know how it impacts your life. I went into financial services as soon as I left college during the recession, so it was a crazy time, became a certified public accountant, learned as much as I could, and then at the age of 28, I decided to leave my dream job to live my dream life. And here I am today. I created platforms such as Career Guidance Academy and Wealthy Women Daily so that individuals can fund their dreams, attract career success, and create a lifestyle they love.
Oh, awesome. So I can't wait. Let's jump into my questions. So here's my question. What should parents and students know before entering college?
Yes, we should not jump into the college process until we know certain basic things about money and how it all works. I know that when I was going to college, everyone was saying just go, go, go. But you want to equip people with the information they needed to make the most of it. So one thing I always advise people to know and understand is the cost of an education and the return on their investment so that they can maximize it. You don't want to end up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars and only get $10,000 in return and be stuck with a bill that you have to pay for the rest of your life. So you want to understand the ins and outs of how the college process can be funded and how you can use your gifts and who you are in order to attract scholarships and money that will allow you to make the most of your education.
And you said something key there, the return on the investment in terms of college. And I know that a lot of students want to go to their dream college. And I don't think, and I'm all for going to college, so don't get me wrong, but I don't think the dream is to be in debt. So we talk about return on investments, and the dream is not to be in debt. And so I think you said something key there. Here's another question. What skills should students master to help them fund their education?
Yes, before you go into college, you know that colleges, it's a business. They are looking for students who can contribute to their university. So what value are you going to add? A lot of people get athletic scholarships because that brings in money for colleges. A lot of people get academic scholarships because that attracts more people, that raises the academic profile. If you don't fit into those two categories, see what makes you stand out. You have to have a brand identity. Me, I had good grades, but I was not the best academically. I went to a school where people had over a 4.0, over a 5.0 GPA. There's no way I can compete on that level. And athletics, for me, forget about it. That just wasn't in my destiny. So I had to really take inventory of my skills. When I sat down, it was like, okay, what do you do best? For me, it was service. That was an unusual thing that people will classify as something that they do well, but I loved helping other people. I would volunteer all the time at different organizations. And so by the time I was a senior in high school, I had accumulated over 500 service hours volunteering with different nonprofits all over Chicago. And that was my somewhat competitive advantage, if you would like to call it that. I was able to showcase that I was a leader in my community because of all the volunteer service I did. And that made me attractive for various scholarship opportunities. So one, you have to understand your brand identity. And two, you have to be able to tell that story. So being a good writer and speaker definitely helps throughout that process. A lot of scholarships will ask you to write about what you've done, your accomplishments, and then to talk about your career aspirations. You want to be an expert at telling the story of you. It won't happen overnight. There are things that you'll have to continuously do to improve your writing skills. You want to get feedback from other people. Ask people, based on what I'm writing here, what are your thoughts about me? What should I add? Feedback is such a powerful tool for growth. So you don't want to be in this process alone. You have a community of individuals who can provide you feedback so that you can continuously present yourself in the best light and attract sponsors who want to invest in your dreams just as much as you do.
So would you say in terms of the skills, maybe the earlier, the better? Because like you said, you started in high school, and some students might start, after high school, or don't even discover themselves, or discover, shall I say, their skills until they get into college. And so probably the earlier, the better. Is there some magical formula for that, I guess?
I definitely agree. The earlier, the better, because think about it. By the time you are a freshman in college, there will be people who have did the self-work process and training in high school. So while they are doing that, while they've completed that self-work process, now they are more confident to apply for scholarships. Individuals who are not confident during the scholarship application process, they won't apply until they gain that confidence, which may be junior or senior year. So the more prepared you are, the faster you can attract those opportunities. Because I did it in high school, my freshman year was not that hard. I was just able to apply for all these scholarships and internships and things that people were not even thinking about their freshman year. So guess what? I really didn't have any competition. For a lot of scholarships, I probably was the only one applying because what other 18-year-old in college, 18 or 19-year-old was thinking about scholarships or thinking about branding themselves for the opportunities that they seek. So it's much easier the earlier you start because it's not that many people who are doing the same thing. So the windows of opportunity are wide open for you.
Oh, that's the trick. Okay, got it. So what's the secret formula to attract over 100K in scholarships? You attracted over 100K in scholarships?
Yes, I did. So I would say beyond your brand identity, there are three things that I realized all these scholarship applications were looking for. One, academic excellence. You want to be above a 3.0, above a 3.5. You want to be the top at what you do. And then you want to stand out some way in your academic curriculum among those who are in the same major. So my major was accounting, but I didn't want to be just like every other accountant on my resume. So I double majored in accounting and finance, but I also did a minor in community service studies. So I had a well-rounded college education that would allow me to be able to speak about different things during the interview process and be able to add more skills to the jobs that I was looking for. So one, having a well-rounded education and being great at that well-rounded application. I also took a lot of classes. I didn't take your standard 16-hour classes. I took 20 hours and 24 hours worth of college credit hours every quarter. So I would take 5 or 6 credit hours because guess what? The more classes you take, the easier it is to get a higher GPA. That's a lot of people think about it. So if you have 4 classes, you get 1 C and 3 A's, that lowers your GPA drastically. Versus if you have 6 classes, you get 5 A's and 1 C, you probably still have over a 3.5 GPA.
Wow.
A trick. The more classes you take, the better your chances of having a higher GPA. If you are good, so you want to have a well-balanced amount of classes that you're really good in, that you know you can get an A in order to balance out your GPA.
Got it.
And number 2 is leadership. People want to invest in leaders. You have to present yourself as a leader of the future. So what I did was I was involved in a lot of leadership activities on campus. I became a leader in the honor society because if you are a leader in the honor society, that shows your leadership, but that also shows your academic excellence. That's 2 in 1. I was president of the Golden Key International Honor Society. So people saw that, okay, she's academically talented, but she's also the president of this organization that has over 500 members.
Wow.
So that looks great as well. I also believe beyond your leadership, it's how you give back. It's all about how you're serving and uplifting others. So for me, I went back to my community, Inglewood, and tutored there. I tutored at a private school there through AmeriCorps. And through AmeriCorps, I got funding to tutor there through this program that I was in. After my 1 year of service there, I created a program similar to that at a public school. And we redesigned the lunchroom with college logos to inspire people to go there. So I was showing people a piece of college life every day by getting DePaul students to help me paint murals, paint logos around the college. So I was able to tell that story. So I believe the 3 pieces of your scholarship success pie is leadership, community service, and academic excellence. And all 3 of those will give you access to people. People is a piece of the pie. You have to have a network because if you're applying for scholarships, you want to get letters of recommendations.
Higher Education Advocates podcast listeners, Scholarship Momma is bringing to you a Scholars Playbook Virtual Summit. That's right, you can log in from the comforts of your home. Get ready for 10 impactful presenters who are subject matter experts in their respective fields. The date of the online event is Saturday, August the 8th from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are welcome to stay for the entire event or log into a session that is of benefit to you. Each presenter will present for 15 minutes with time for Q&A. You can register at scholarshipmomma.com/summit. That's scholarshipmomma.com/summit. scholarshipmomma.com/SUMMIT. See you Saturday, August the 8th. Wow. And I hear network, a little tip to my listeners. My nephew was here the other day, and he is 17 years old, and he was visiting from Atlanta. And I talked to him about having a network the other day. I told him to start now. I said, people want to help our youth, and you need to start networking now. We were talking about him not being able to work this summer. He has been working with children for the past 2 summers, and this summer he was going to get paid. And so, of course, because he's 17, so now he can, actually earn money. So he was super excited. But he, of course, he's not able to work with the children due to what's going on. But I told him to keep in contact. I said, keep in contact with that employer, because you need to start networking now and build up your network. And so what you said about networking is key. I think that is definitely a secret formula to attract a lot.
It is. It's all about who you know, because those people in your network will also tell you about scholarships that you don't even have on your radar. They'll tell you about scholarships, internships, everything you need is within your network.
Yeah, that's key. Okay, so you mentioned you paid off all of your student loans at the age of 22. Now, what is the secret formula to that?
Yes, so I went to college and I was like, no way, I do not want to leave with student loan debt. What do I need to do in order to make this vision a reality? And people are telling me, okay, you're crazy. This is not going to happen. You're living in a fairyland. You are going to have student loan debt. So what I did was I made sure that my profile was good enough to land me profitable internships. So some people in college, they intern and don't get paid for it. I was like, no, I need to pay my education. I need to get paid for my work. So I landed internships all my years of college. So freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior, with Fortune 500 companies. They gave me signing bonuses, scholarships, and salaries.
Wow.
So my first internship, I believe I was getting $3,000 a month plus a signing bonus to work at a Big Four accounting firm. And they had also gave me a scholarship to go along with the internship.
Wow.
So then the school year came, I did not have to work, but I worked on campus jobs during the school year. So I had money coming in from various sources. I worked maybe 3 or 4 on-campus jobs and an off-campus job as well. But those on-campus jobs were all leadership jobs. So I got paid for being a mentor. I got paid for tutoring. I got paid for being a leadership as part of this fellowship program. So you can actually get paid for your leadership activities that you're doing on campus, which is awesome. So that helped me to fund my education. And then I also made sure I was connected to the right organizations. A lot of my scholarship money came from the National Association of Black Accountants. So you want to think about your major and think about the different organizations that align with your major, because guess what? All of those organizations give you scholarships. So Golden Key International Honor Society gave me scholarships. NABA, they gave me a local chapter scholarship, regional scholarship, and a national scholarship. Plus, they gave me access to internships. They gave me scholarships.
Wow.
So NABA was just a big support system for me, and I am so grateful for the National Association of Black Accountants for helping me to fund my education. And then DePaul University, they also have scholarships for top accounting and finance students. So there are just scholarships everywhere based on all the affiliations that you have. So the more affiliations you have, the more scholarships you can qualify for.
So that's key. You said affiliations, and I say too. I just learned something new because it's about affiliations as well. And I also say that it's scholarships everywhere, just like you said. I mean, it's scholarships everywhere.
Yes, it's everywhere. You just have to know that it exists. A lot of people don't know it exists, but once you get in the scholarship mode, everywhere you turn, you're going to see a scholarship.
Well, I like to say, when you apply for scholarships, it's like a part-time job. That's what I really tell students when I'm conducting workshops, that applying for scholarships is like a part-time job. So do you recall how many hours a week that you applied for scholarships?
So when I was in high school, I would look at scholarships every single week. I put in maybe 20 hours because I didn't know anything about the scholarship process and branding myself. I put in a lot of hours during high school. And guess what? I did not even get 10% of the scholarships I applied for in high school. So it was kind of devastating because I put all this time into it. I didn't get anything. I didn't start getting a lot of scholarships until my sophomore year. So it took me a couple of years to really fine tune my application and who I was in order to start attracting scholarships. But as soon as I had my essays together, then it just became easier because guess what? Most of the scholarships will ask you the same questions. They ask you the same questions. So all you have to do is keep a folder of your essays and then change them a little bit, and you'll be able to apply for scholarships within 5 or 10 minutes, a year or 2 years later, because you've already done the hard work. So be willing to put in that work to get your essays together and get your letters of recommendations together. Get all of that together, because then you'll be able to just submit applications instantly.
Wow. And so the key to that is you didn't give up. Like you said, in high school, you applied and you didn't get as many, but over the years you start getting a lot and you didn't give up. And I try to tell students that, like I say that all the time, don't give up, just keep applying. So I'm glad to hear that. Like, that is one of the keys to not give up as well. But also
exactly.
Here, when I'm conducting the scholarship workshops, students don't want to write essays. They are intimidated by their essays, with scholarship providers telling them to write an essay. And so I heard you say earlier, like it sounded like you kind of like they asked the same question. So you just kind of took the answers and probably made it fit to the application. But can you expand on that a little bit more, like about the essay? Because it is for some students, that's the main reason why they don't apply for scholarships, because of the essays.
I think it's so important that if you are new to the scholarship process, that you sit down with somebody so that you can get a better idea of the direction that your essays can go in. And when I say get a better idea, I mean, make sure that you're telling your full story. Make sure you're telling the best of you and attracting people who want to invest in you. But you have to become a better writer. That's a part of the process. You cannot get scholarships with a lot of errors and words that don't make sense and don't go together. You have to put together a cohesive story. So if you're not a good writer, you want to meet with writing coaches, scholarship coaches, people who can sit down, look at your essay and say, hey, this is what you should do next time. This is how you improve. It's not going to be better overnight, but with consistently applying and consistently getting feedback, you will have a rock star scholarship essay. So you have to be willing to work on it.
Okay, that's good to know. I will relay that when I do my scholarship workshop.
Yes. People don't realize how important writing skills is. Even though I did not study anything that involved writing, I studied accounting, but my entire career, I focused on my writing because I knew my writing and speaking would help me to excel in any career path that I chose. Even more so than my numbers capabilities. It was going to be my writing or speaking that would allow me to rise in the accounting profession.
Oh, awesome. That's smart. Is there anything else that you want our listeners to know that we haven't talked about?
Wow, we talked about so many great things, and I know we didn't get to dive deep into it, but what I do want people to know is college is a big investment. It's just like buying a home. It's one of the biggest investments that you'll probably make in your life. So what does that mean? You want to understand your money and the money available to you before you dive in and make that decision. Do not just go to college based off emotions because everybody else is doing it. Evaluate what works best for you. Evaluate your money. Have a financial plan. People always say either you plan to fail, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, if you don't put a plan in place, you are planning to fail. So you have to have a money plan for your education, or you'll be stuck paying payments for the rest of your life. Don't allow 4 years of your life to become a lifetime burden. Sit down with somebody who can help you understand the ins and outs of your money so that you can be able to live the life that you want after college.
I agree with you. And transparent moment again, I did not have a plan. I went into college without a plan, and therefore I took out student loans, and it has made such a huge impact on me. So take it from me, have a plan when you go to college, because that is important. Now, here's my last question. How are you keeping yourself healthy during this COVID-19?
How am I staying healthy? I had to hire me a fitness coach because so much going on. It's so easy to neglect yourself and your fitness because of everything that's going on. So I was like, you know what? I can't do this myself. And I had to realize that there's something that I can't do myself or stay accountable to for myself. I need to hire somebody else who can do that for me to make my life easier. I'm all about being stress-free. So if there's something I need help with, I need to outsource that task to somebody else who can help me in that area. So I have a fitness class tonight that I'm looking forward to.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You have to be real with yourself.
Well, before I let you go, I want to say thank you. And also, I want you to let tell us how we can connect with you. Tell the audience how we can stay connected to you and all the things that you are doing.
Yes, so I am online. I'm on Instagram at Wealthy Women Daily and at Charlene Rhinehart. Feel free to follow, leave comments, say hi. I'll follow back and engage. I am also on Facebook, Charlene Rhinehart, but mostly Instagram and LinkedIn as Charlene Rhinehart. You can feel free to go to my website, Wealthy Women Daily, sign up for the free newsletter. I'll be sending out a lot of money and investing tips. I send out tips almost every week. So if you want some of those tips, connect with me.
Oh, awesome. And wait a minute, before I let you go, please share with our listeners, you also have a book out. Can you just talk a little bit about that? It's a book. I have it, and it's exciting. So just give us a little tidbit on that.
Oh, yeah. So it actually starts off talking about college and how that experience going to work transformed my life. The name of the book is Dividends, Our Queen's Best Friend. It's about receiving income every month instead of being in a position where you have to pay expenses, pay somebody else every month. It's all about finding ways to profit from the companies that you use every month and get another source of cash flow so that you can fund your lifestyle.
And they can find the book where?
It's on Amazon. Dividends Are Our Queen's Best Friend, available on Amazon.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you again for taking the time to talk with my listeners.
Thank you so much for having me, Scholarship Mama. This is so amazing what you're doing. Our kids need it, and I'm thanking you for being a leader on this because we need to eliminate debt, and you are leading the way so that our future generations can be able to live more prosperous and be able to contribute to the world in a greater way. So thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, thank you for coming. You are very welcome. Until the next time, listeners, we'll talk later.